Alright guys, today we're going to look at the updated salary cap now that Joe Mixon did take a pay cut, and we're going to see how everything is now going. We're also going to take a look at Joe Burrow's possible extension and how everything would work out in the end. Let's go ahead and get right into it. So starting off right away, yes, Joe Mixon did take a pay cut, and what's really cool about this actually is this year we can't, obviously we're not going to cut him, but let's say after this year, he just simply is not that good anymore. We just want to move on. Chase Brown is becoming an absolute superstar. Joe Mixon had a freak incident where he can't now play. We could technically cut him next year and save $5.75 million. So this does give us an out next year. This year, obviously not, because he will be guaranteed $4 million this year. But we could technically get an out next year, as you can see with dead money and cap savings. This year, we would be negative 1.18 if we cut him. But next year, we save $5.75 million. So that's actually kind of a cool idea. And if we go ahead and put that post June 1st, you can see both of it would be negative too. So we'd have to cut him before June 1st. Nonetheless, though, let's go ahead and take a look at this. So he'd be making $8.46 million this year and $8.5 million next year. Obviously, that's after all his bonuses and everything gets added together. Now, of course, he does also have incentives up to, I believe, $3 million for each year. So he can actually make more money than this, which is, of course, $4 million in additional incentives are also available, which is awesome. Now, how much did he reduce his contract by? He reduced his contract by around $4.3 million, which again saves us in the long run so freaking much. So our updated total now is 19.2 salary cap this year and $64 million next year. Now, let's talk about what this means for the team. Well, starting off right away, let's just take a look at Jalen Hurts' contract, because he is one of the most recent quarterbacks to get a brand new contract. So obviously we don't know exactly what Joe Burrow is going to get, but this is a good example on how it could be structured. So how the Eagles did the contract with Jalen Hurts was they said, okay, you're going to play out your 2023 contract, and then your contract's going to start next year. So this is when the new contract actually starts. It's a $259 million contract, but you can see how it's structured helps out the team immensely. It's $13 million the first year, $21 million the second year, 31, 41, 47, and 97. This obviously is a voidable year. This is after his contract does expire, but he's still guaranteed that money, which obviously works out in the end to $259 million. This could be somewhat of how Joe Burrow's contract gets structured. I still will hold on to the fact forever that it's going to be a 10-year contract instead of being a 5-year contract. And if you do it 10 years, you can really separate this money up a lot better, and it'd be less of a cap hit per year for the Bengals. But this is why it's going to work out so well that that Joe Mixon took his pay cut, because that gives us an extra $4.3 million. So if we look at his contract yet again, this year, let's say we give him an extension, Joe Burrow, he's going to be making, and I think it's right here, 11.5 this year, and then in the future, and I think right here, is his contract up? No, his contract is up, this contract year. 5th-year option. So in the future, his contract would start like this. Could we start with 13, 21, 31, 43, 47, 97, right? But if you do it over 10 years, you can really push that money in the future. So that's kind of how I feel like they're probably going to do this contract. Now, if they do this contract like that, obviously, yes, we have $64 million cap next year. So let's say they did give him a ballpark range of 15 to 17 million, because he's going to get more money than Jalen Hurts. So let's be honest, he deserves more money. And over 10 years, it's all going to work out for him in the end. You could, theoretically speaking, at $64 million, let's say his cap hit ends up being minus $18 million, you still have enough money to get T. Higgins signed, Logan Wilson signed, and Logan Wilson signed. Who else we got? Jamar Chase obviously needs an extension, but he's not going to need an extension until sometime next year, right? But you could still get all these other guys under contract. Tyler Boyd might be a casualty. Jonah Williams a casualty. Cheeto, you get him back. You sign him back. And DJ Reader, it depends on how the money flows in the end. That's why we'll definitely say there. But you can get a lot of these guys back and signed again. Now, again, this Joe Mixon contract is not going to be the savior for everything. It's not like, oh, because he took a pay cut, now we can, sign everyone, because it's only $4.6 million. But it all goes toward the final goal of being able to bring back all of these guys. So now we can, again, bring back, pretty much everyone we want, which is actually really freaking amazing. Amazing. I said Megan. Amazing. So, yeah. So I just wanted to go take a look at the final recap of everything and, see what our salary cap is looking like right now. Obviously, there are going to be players that won't be coming back next year anyway. So we will have more money salary cap-wise anyway because of the fact that certain players will leave. Which, it sucks, but that's how football works. Not everyone's coming back. It's possible, for example, if Jonah does play amazing this year, right, it's possible that Collins leaves. And if Collins leaves, we save around $5 million there. That gets us up there. So if we bring back Collins, okay, let's go down this list here. We could also cut Joe Mixon. That's possible. I don't think we're going to. I think we'll probably end up keeping him. But yeah, so and again, it all adds up in the end. Like every little bit of money that we save or we get helps us out in the salary cap in the end. So can't wait to see how this, all works out. I'm just ready for the Joe Burrow contract to get done. Because once we get the Joe Burrow contract done, we can kind of map out the rest of this, right? Because that's really the only wild card. We already know T's contract's going to be probably in the ballpark range of 5 years, $100 million. Or maybe a little bit over $100 million. It's going to be around that ballpark range, around 20, 25 a year. So, I'm going to be interested to see how this all works out. Also, last thing I'll leave you on is this, right? I wonder how the other running backs feel about Joe Mixon. Because Joe Mixon is 27 years old, right? And right now, most running backs in the NFL, Austin Eckler is 26. Saquon, I believe, is around 26. Josh Jacobs, like 24, 25. These running backs are fighting for, these big contracts. They want to get paid. They want to get big money. Derrick Henry is 29 years old. And Joe Mixon is 27 and just took a pay cut. And he was going to be making $13 million a year, but he decided he wanted to help the team win and go to a Super Bowl rather than take more money away from the team. Which is so interesting because, again, I never, knock any person for trying to get their money or, any player trying to get paid. But it's funny because he literally is doing the counter of what even Jonathan Taylor posted the other day and said, it's not about, you can try to help the team win, but at the end of the day, you're just viewed as a running back and nothing else. Kind of Joe Mixon's like, hey, listen, I'm fine with that. I just want to help the team win. And all these other running backs are like, we want to get paid. We want the team to win, but we want to get paid too. It's kind of ironic how, Joe just went the opposite of it. Which, I wonder how many halfbacks dislike Joe Mixon for this. I don't know. Maybe a little bit. Tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.